latest addition to the Hayworth line is a $419 office chair named Breck. You heard the price correct, a Hayworth chair for $419. At that price, it is the least expensive office chair from any of the major office chair manufacturers. Now, I've been sitting in the Breck chair for a week, so let's jump into my first impressions. The only reason I want to cover assembly quickly here is because there is a small amount required, and unlike the rest of the Hayworth line, you will need to drop a cylinder into the base, set the chair on top. It literally should take 3 seconds, but maybe a couple minutes if this is your first time. Hayworth's focus with Breck was to use as much recycled materials as possible and keep it lightweight to reduce the overall carbon footprint for shipping. The end result was an extremely lightweight product. While this does have its benefits, it does make you wonder if this would have any impact long term for parts holding up to the rigors of heavier adult users. Fortunately, they still provide a full 12-year warranty on the frame and components with a max capacity of 325 pounds. Overall, the plastic molds on the chair were well done throughout. One of the first things you'll notice when sitting down in the Breck is the actual backrest. With the GeoStretch back, the flexibility inside the outer frame is super nice. There was a lot of thought put into this part of the chair with a very specific sequence of how the whole panel's shapes and positioning would impact certain flex zones while seated. This design creates additional support, especially in that lumbar region, with more flexibility in other areas throughout the back. To be honest, it was designed in a way that I really don't find much of a need for that lumbar support system that comes with the chair. Ultimately, I think this is good news since the lumbar doesn't really provide much additional lower support in my opinion. The lumbar system wasn't one of my favorite features either, since it doesn't move that intuitively and tends to catch on either side when you attempt to adjust, from both the seated position and standing. Overall, the backrest does provide good support and puts you in a nice, upright, ergonomic position. Trying Ryan's favorite Russian twist, though, you can tell the outer frame makes the backrest less flexible overall, especially compared to chairs like the Fern and Zodi from Hayworth's lineup. Shameless BTOD plug, if you're on a tight budget and want a premium chair, you should consider our fully refurbished Steelcase Leap and EMEA chairs. We offer a full 12-year warranty, 30-day free returns, and more than 50% off new retail prices. Back to the Breck review. The seat on the Breck was a sneaky surprise for me, to be honest. First, I'll be completely transparent. I was worried that it would be uncomfortable for 8 hours a day. Overall, it looks fairly thin. I was concerned that this might lead to bottoming out. But I can say after the first day of using the chair, I noticed there was a lot more give underneath the seat pad than expected. Well, it's hard to see here in the video. Underneath the pad, there's actually quite a bit of room, allowing that seat pad to flex where your tailbone and sit bones are. Now, I believe this is the reason why it feels so comfortable even for my build. And again, I'm 6 foot and about 180 pounds. Now, while there is flexibility inside the seat shell itself, the outside of the seat frame is fairly stiff. There isn't a lot of flex there. The seat pan itself, from a size perspective, if you're my height, 6 foot and up, might tend to be a bit short as well. Even with the seat depth adjustable, it feels like it's too short for me personally. For shorter users, though, I can see this being a perfect fit. The connection of the seat cover to the seat pan is definitely quite a bit different than what you'll see from most Hayworth chairs. It's pulled tight with a drawstring and then held in place on the shell with tension and these little plastic hooks. So in essence, it has that drawstring to really pull it tight to that seat pan, but it's not necessarily connected by any staples that I could tell. The armrests on the Breck have a full range of adjustment. I really like how the height adjustment feature is hidden underneath the arm frame. This creates a cleaner look for the arms overall, and I had no issues getting them set to my body type. Because this chair reminds me a lot of the Steelcase Series 1, I have to say that while the arm pads aren't as soft and squishy as maybe a Fern, they're definitely a lot better than the Series 1 chair from Steelcase. They do have some softness to them and are comfortable. There is a good range of adjustments here as you can adjust them forward, backward, side to side, and pivot in and out. The arm's only real downside, in my opinion, was how much plastic was actually used to build them. The same play that is found when the arms are fully extended happens to be found when it's at its lowest position as well, which is kind of uncommon. I believe this is a product of the materials used for that track system with so much plastic. Additionally, when you use the arms to push yourself up and out of the chair or readjust yourself in the chair, the entire backrest tends to lean forward or pivot forward. Now, I'm not completely sold on how this would be with heavier users, but overall, I'm not sure it's truly built to support those large frames anyways. Not sure what chair is right for you? Check out our office chair comfort cheat sheet linked below. The mechanism used on the Breck is a weight-activated system, which doesn't include any form of tension adjustment allowed for you, the user. We see this on chairs like the Steelcase Series 1 and 2. Because of this feature, you can't really dial it in for your specific needs. You have to just trust that it will do a good job automatically. The overall movement of the tilt is a bit of a hip thrust motion, moving your hips out and up as that backrest reclines. While not necessarily my favorite, I am seeing this on other chairs across the industry. I was impressed by the fact that this chair that retails for only $419 includes a back tilt limiting feature, meaning it doesn't have tilt lock keeping you fixed in a reclined position. Instead, as you recline, you will hit a hard stop in 3 different angles. This is a really nice feature for this price and provides better movement throughout the day. The seat slider is also a nice feature to have, but like I mentioned before, above in the seat comfort section, it isn't exactly built for my frame. I think if you're 5'10" or shorter, this will be a great adjustment range to get you seated comfortably in the Breck. The bottom line, I was actually quite impressed by the chair. For such a low entry point for cost, it really brings a lot to the table with a solid warranty, plenty of adjustments, and a super comfortable seat pad. While there was some downsides like the movement in the arms, I think that most of my issues stem from my height and actual weight versus actual problems with the chair. So if you're under 5'10", this could be a great option for an extremely affordable price. Thanks for watching.